Everyone in that arena was crying. 60,000 people, grown men, children, wrestlers who had seen everything, all of them crying at the same time because of one woman walking down that aisle. That was Miss Elizabeth, and 12 years later, she was found dead on the floor of a house that was not hers. She was 42 years old, and WWE said nothing. Elizabeth Ann Hewlett grew up in Frankfort, Kentucky. She was quiet, reserved, the kind of person who felt more comfortable behind the scenes than in front of a crowd. She met Randy Poffo, the man the world would come to know as Randy Savage, in the late 1970s. They married in 1984. Randy Savage was one of the most intense human beings professional wrestling had ever produced. Obsessive, controlling, fiercely protective of Elizabeth in ways that felt less like love and more like ownership. He managed every aspect of her public presentation. What she wore, how she stood, who she spoke to. She was his creation as much as she was his wife. But the world saw something different. They saw the most beautiful woman in professional wrestling, standing quietly beside the most explosive performer of his generation. They saw her flinch when things got dangerous, and rush into the ring when he needed her. They saw genuine emotion on her face every single time, because it was genuine. Whatever was happening privately, Elizabeth Hewlett genuinely loved Randy Savage, and the camera captured that truth every week. By the late 1980s, Miss Elizabeth was the most beloved figure in WWE. Not the most beloved woman, the most beloved figure. Fans who hated every villain in that company felt something completely different when she appeared. She was the one pure thing in a world built on deception and performance. And then Wrestlemania VII happened. Randy Savage lost a retirement match to the Ultimate Warrior. As he lay in the ring defeated and finished, his former manager, Sensational Sherry, began attacking him. And Miss Elizabeth, who had not been seen with Randy Savage for over a year, ran down from the crowd and threw Sherry out of the ring. What happened next was not scripted. Randy Savage looked up from the canvas and saw her standing over him, and something on his face collapsed. The performer disappeared completely. What was left was a man looking at the woman he loved after a year of separation in the middle of 60,000 people. They embraced in that ring for 4 minutes, while 60,000 people cried. It is still considered one of the most genuinely emotional moments in the history of professional wrestling, because nobody was performing. Two real people were reuniting in front of the world, and the world felt every second of it. What the world did not know was what their relationship actually looked like behind closed doors. They divorced in 1992. The details that emerged later were not romantic. The control that had read as protectiveness on television had been something else entirely in private. Elizabeth rebuilt her life quietly. She left wrestling. She tried to find something that belonged only to her. She eventually began a relationship with Lex Luger, another wrestler, another world that was familiar, even when it was damaging. By 2003, people who knew her said she seemed lost. The woman who had been the emotional center of an entire industry for a decade had no real place in it anymore. She was 42 years old, and the world that had made her famous had moved on without her. On May 1, 2003, Lex Luger called 911 from the home they shared in Marietta, Georgia. Elizabeth was unresponsive on the floor. She was pronounced dead at the scene. The cause of death was acute toxicity, a combination of painkillers and vodka. Lex Luger was in the house. He was never charged. WWE posted a short statement on their website. There was no tribute show. Owen Hart got a tribute show. Eddie Guerrero got a tribute show. Roddy Piper got a tribute show. The company that had built its emotional identity in the 1980s around Miss Elizabeth's face looked at her death and decided a website statement was sufficient. The woman who made 60,000 people cry at Wrestlemania VII. A website statement. There is a version of this story where WWE's silence was about the circumstances of her death, the substances, the complicated relationship with Lex Luger, the messy, private reality that did not fit the image they had spent years building around her. That version is probably true, but it does not make the silence less damning. It makes it more. They used her image for years. They used her genuine emotion. They used the love that 60,000 people felt, watching her run down that aisle. They built some of their most memorable television around what her face did when Randy Savage needed her. And when she needed something from them, there was a website statement and silence. Miss Elizabeth deserved a tribute show. She deserved someone standing in that ring and saying her name out loud to the people who cried for her at WrestleMania VII. Instead, there was nothing. Just like there was nothing the night she was found on that floor. Nothing but silence.